Good morning, everyone. I am so happy that each and every one of you here. I would like to thank all of you dignitaries, and I don't want to hold us up any longer. I would like to introduce our guest speaker for today, which is Tavia Wooley-Iles. Tavia has a communication organization company. She has been a Toastmaster over the years. I met her as a Toastmaster originally, and over the years she has come up with her own photography business. She's just been in business as an entrepreneur ever since I've known her. I'm not going to hold us up any longer, but to introduce my Toastmaster buddy and friend, Tavia Wooley-Iles.
All right. Well, thank you, Flora. And I am actually very happy to be here. I love social media. I love it. I enjoy it. I think one of my focuses is to help people really effectively use it without stressing themselves out so that they too can enjoy the fruits of their labor. So we're going to start with, I'm managing a couple of screens and different things I want to share with you guys. So bear with me. Give me about 30 seconds. Oh, I should probably, and I will open up my presentation. Let's see if that works. But what I would like everyone to do, if possible, is in the chat, can you share with me what club, what region are you from? Okay. I will, Steve, I see your comment. I will definitely send the deck out. But in order for this training to be really engaging and effective, here's a few things you're going to need. So please get pencil and paper, iPads, whatever you take notes on, because I'm going to ask you questions and you're going to need to answer it at least for yourself so that you could take it back and start making these changes or being mindful. If you have any type of social media account, any platform, maybe open that up in a tab. So have that in the background so that you can look at your own stuff, because it's very important that you see what this looks like in action as opposed to me just giving you theory and concept. You need to see what it looks like. And I'm going to show you some examples, but I want you to evaluate this information. I want you to compare this information to what you're currently doing so that you can see how to modify, change, adapt, see what's working and what's not working. So while I'm pulling up my PowerPoint, please get your writing tools ready, note-taking tools, as well as open up in an additional tab, whatever platform you use the most. Or if you're like a social media maven and you use all of them, then open up, at least 2 of them. But if you only use one, that's equally as fine. Please just get it ready. And I'm going to not necessarily, can you guys see the PowerPoint? Yeah, hopefully. I see you, Flora. I can only see so many faces.
Yes, we can see it, Tavia.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. So please don't be shy. This is definitely unmute yourself, ask all the questions. If something doesn't make sense, because I will use some level of social media language. But if it doesn't resonate or doesn't make sense, please let me know. All right, so we're going to talk about social media engagement. Now, this is not a high level social media training, which means we're not going to go over analytics and all those data points, because I do not want to overwhelm anyone here. I want you to fall in love with the social media process and engagement versus being overly consumed with the data points. All right, I see we got Facebook, LinkedIn. Okay, yes. All right, and we see Fresno. Thank you, thank you. Turlock Chamber speakers. Okay, all right. Turlock, California. Turlock is the city, right? And special edition. Okay, thank you. All right, so here we go. This is what we're going to cover in today's training. We're going to welcome and introductions. That's what you guys are doing right now. You're also providing me with information so I know who's in the room and maybe what level that you might want to use social media. Then we're going to go over what do you know? We're going to read the room, discuss what you know or what you think you know. We're going to talk about platforms and their focus, social media platforms and their target audience. We're going to become a Netflix series, and then we're going to see it in action. So my next question is by a show of hands or in the chat, whatever one is best for you. What's the one thing you really, really hope to take away from this training? Please provide that, and not by show of hands. Please provide that in the chat. What's the one thing you really hope to take away? Remember, this is the social media engagement training. So it's about developing a community, working on your posts so that they're being effective, that they're reaching the audience that you want to reach, and that your audience is like thrilled to be consuming your content. Social media calendar, got it. More easily gain followers, likes, new members, great. Attract future members, basics, more posts on Facebook. All right. Okay. Flora, I'm gonna assume you'll make sure people who are joining in will be able to get into the meeting. Being comfortable with the process of posting. Yes, how to word and format posts to get new members, more engagement. Okay, all right. So let's start with what do you know? Come off mute, and what do you know about social media? What do you know? Like I would love for someone to actually speak. What do you know?
Used to be my job, and when I go home, I don't want to do it.
I totally, it used to be your job. So Steve, you can co-teach the class with me, right? Steve's like,
I got trained almost like over a decade ago, and it's changed so much.
It
Since
has.
then, I watched the change and the analytics and the money and the paid social. It's just become layer upon layer upon layer. TikTok,
Yep.
with the rise of TikTok and Instagram and Pinterest and
yeah. So a lot has changed, but in some cases, things still remain the same, and it's all about engagement. Can someone, Kathy, go ahead. I see you.
Okay, what I know is very limited, but on the Facebook platform, there's two ways that you can post, and one is they're just for 24 hours, and people have a short attention span, so that's where I've been posting, not a lot, but if I want to get a message across, I post it on the story. I think it's the story, not positive.
Stories. Oh, good job, Kathy. Okay, so you're talking about something that we are definitely going to address. What is a challenge, and who has a success that they want to share with their social media? You can give me either a challenge or a success you have had. Looks like Leslie want to say something. Leslie, yeah. Olin, okay, go ahead, Olin. Or Leslie, whichever one.
Well, I just not getting any response really from posts, and I was hearing like from Clarice saying you really have to engage people. So learning how to engage more with different posts is something that I could use help with to get more traction.
All right, engagement. Okay, so Leslie, I'm going to ask a favor of you. Remember how I said open up a tab of your account? If you can show me, and we'll get to that, but I think of a post in which nothing happens, so I can see what that looks like. Okay, a post that nothing happened, and you would have liked for something to have happened with it.
I'm not on my computer with different monitors. I'm only on my iPad, so that might be a little hard for me.
Understood. Okay, no worries. Olin, what would you like to share?
You asked for a success. I volunteer for different organizations, and like your first speaker or participant mentioned before in the technology career, I used to be a systems administrator on the Los Angeles Air Force Base when I first moved to California. At that time, early 90s. So that's where my background comes in, but we're all getting thrown into something totally brand new that have had learned from scratch. Currently, I'm Zoom master on several different organizations. And the one success, and again, it's been few and far between because there's so many areas that I don't know where to market to yet. But we did get a member through a Facebook inquiry that turned out to be a very good member of that organization.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. That's a member is a huge success. So good job on that one. All right, so let me introduce you to the team. We have Facebook, oldie but goodie, right? Typically, older adults, family-oriented professionals. The platform enjoys photos, videos, written captions, and they have an online community via groups. And we all know we have clubs that have their own groups, right? Then let's go down to Instagram. Images, it was known originally as a photo platform, but now it's shifting to more short form content such as videos, so but we call them reels. Stories for engagement, typically a younger audience, but not necessarily. Corporations are showing up on the platform in full force, and influencers are as famous as celebrities, okay? If you didn't know that, you know, we had our celebrities, right? Celine Dion and all the people we would know, all the A-listers. Well, now influencers are almost as famous and important as the celebrities. And SEO, search engine optimization, is important or is becoming important on Instagram. So if you have been listening to any of the social media rumblings, Instagram has been going through a lot of evolutions. And right now, as I mentioned, it started off as a photo platform, is shifting to a short form video content platform. And now they're introducing SEO options. So the content or your captions that you write on Instagram and hashtags you use are going to help your content being found based on search engine options, okay? Then we're gonna get to TikTok as what I like to call it, the tickety top. TikTok, who is the new kid on the block and has blown everybody out the water. They were really the originator, well, not the originator of short form content, but they made short form content, video content, less polished. So previously videos such as like YouTube and any type of video that you would see on social media used to have this polished look. You practice, you had the microphones, the fancy lights, you did all those things. TikTok said, nope, we want a more organic platform where you just show up as is. You don't need to wear makeup. You don't need to, in fact, you don't even need to sound smart. Just show up on TikTok, be something entertaining. And that's actually where they started. So they targeted a younger audience, and they came to rise during the beginning part of the pandemic. So a younger audience, more entertainment focused. That's where you get all the TikTok dances, the lip syncing, trending audios, right? But as TikTok has rose to power, it's starting to shift its focus. Yes, entertainment, but also education. So lean in on the education, just a tip real quick, lean in on the educational aspect of TikTok. Don't be scared because of the fact that younger people are on it, or it used to be known for this dancing platform and performing. And then we have YouTube. YouTube reigns supreme as far as long-term content is concerned, video format. Now, this is where the polished videos really show up. YouTube is the second largest search engine, first one being Google. YouTube is owned by Google. So you want to make sure that the content that goes to YouTube is very search engine optimized, which means you're thinking about the type of content you're putting up there. Especially since we're Toastmasters, right? We might be putting up someone's speech. We might be doing a training or a tutorial. We want to be mindful of how we are framing the message so that it populates in these search engines. And then lastly is other. Other would be everybody else, LinkedIn, podcasts, blogs, and newsletters, okay? And those are equally as important depending on your audience. Now, as I saw, people are familiar with LinkedIn. LinkedIn is definitely the career ladder professionals. Podcast is for, I love podcasts. I have a podcast myself. Podcasts are audio, shows about whatever topic. You could have a podcast on anything, but they're equally as important. They are SEOs, blogs, the written word, and then of course newsletters, which blogs and newsletters kind of play off of each other. It just kind of depends on how you want to approach that. So before I go on to the next one, any questions on these particular platforms?
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm thinking TikTok is the most nerve-wracking for me because you have to be so creative. I don't even know how to approach to begin to advertise on TikTok.
One,
know?
I see. Thank you, Leslie. I just want to acknowledge the comment. Twitter. I forgot Twitter, but Twitter belongs in this discussion too. But Twitter is almost like the news, headlines, what's going on, my thoughts. Very important. But when we talk about engagement and probably the best use of platforms, it might be these, and I'll go into that more. But Leslie, to speak to your point, yes, I honestly myself in the beginning did not like TikTok. I'm not going to sing and dance for you. Okay, that's what I'm not going to do. We not putting on no skits. I'm not doing no pranks. Nope, I'm not doing it. But TikTok realizes everybody don't want to do that anymore. Okay, so now we call it the talking head video. So you could just get on TikTok with a talking head video. You're educating someone about a point. Leslie, you're not real estate. I forgot what field you're in your profession.
I am a real estate appraiser.
So you would be, just for example, you would be educating your audience on the importance of selecting a really good real estate appraiser, what potential customers should be looking for in those particular appraisers, why it's important, how does that apply to the whole house buying process or house selling process. So good news is you could be the talking head and just get your phone and start filming, and you don't have to dance, sing, or wear anything colorful. You don't even have to put on makeup. Just show up, okay? All right.
You may want me with makeup, just saying.
So I want to jump to this because this is equally as important, because the lifespan of your content, your posts, aka content and posts are going to be used interchangeably, okay? Content and posts. Based on the lifespan of it, you might decide where you want to drill down on your focus, because not all content posts is created equally. Yes, Kathy, I sure did. I would do a regular slide presentation just for, I know you guys can see most of my screen, but when I do a full-blown slide presentation, like, the screen gets so, I can't really maneuver between different screens and I have a lot of tabs open. So I'm sorry that you guys are not necessarily seeing the presentation format, but I hope it's big enough for you guys to all see it. Okay, so the lifespan, social media post lifespan in a snapshot. So every social network platform is unique. We know that some platforms are primarily for search intent, while others share media content, and yet others are for photography enthusiasts. The length of time your content is likely to last also varies per platform. So TikTok has an instant decay. TikTok, you post, whoever is on TikTok at that time might see your post and then it's gone, okay? Twitter, you have 15, 18 minutes. So when you tweet something, whatever, no matter how profound you think it is, it's only gonna last 15 to 18 minutes. Facebook, 6 hours. LinkedIn, a whole 24 hours. Instagram, 48 hours. And YouTube, about 20 days. And in some cases, years. Okay, so what I mean by the lifespan is it will populate in people's feeds. That's what's important. So TikTok, and another challenge with TikTok is you don't necessarily create a loyal fan base, which means they're going to keep coming back to your content. It's like they're scrolling, how we talk about people scrolling. Okay, TikTok is a scroll. So that's why we say it's an instant decay. So if a person didn't like what you posted or didn't want to see it, they just scroll up. So it's instant. Whereas Twitter, you at least are going to show up in people's Twitter feeds for 15 to 18 minutes, unless it goes viral or unless it's so profound that people are sharing it, then it can last longer. Facebook is 6 hours. But Facebook, you typically on Facebook, it's your family and friends. It's people you typically know. So they're going to be more inclined to come back and look at your content. Then we have Instagram, 48 hours, and YouTube, about 20. Since you mentioned, so David, for people in the chat, I just want to make sure you guys know that you are directly messaging me, which is fine. But if you want other people to see the comment too, just make sure you change it to everyone. But if it's directly to me, that's great. Clubhouse. Oh, Clubhouse. it's not, it doesn't have the staying power. Like, it's still being used, but based on all the research I've done more recently, and I do research quite often because, as we already discussed, social media changes so much. Clubhouse is still not producing that staying power. It just, I'm not sure why it's not, because in a sense you could just have a podcast, which opens it up to be more search engine friendly versus Clubhouse. I don't really have a concrete answer, but Clubhouse is not, I would say you have to do a lot of heavy lifting to get Clubhouse to be active for you, to be beneficial, which is not a problem, but just know you have to drill down on Clubhouse to get those type of results. Yes, Clubhouse is available for Android. All right. So the first thing I want you guys to know, congratulations, you are now a Netflix series. You didn't even know it, huh? You didn't even know that you were going to become a Netflix series. I use that example because you want to be binge worthy. Produce content is in multiple episodes, so a series of content, and you want to leave people talking, AKA you want people to share your content. Do you guys remember that show, Cat King, Tiger King? What was that? The cat show with the lady, the men. This is really a bad example because I can't remember the name, but not Lion King. You guys, come on.
I don't remember the name. I remember
it was hot
Yes,
at like the peak of the pandemic, or Tiger King. Tiger King, right? Lion King, Tiger King. Everybody on Facebook in the world was talking about Tiger King. So that was word of mouth. So you want people to be talking about your Netflix series, which is you. Okay. So when we talk about content, creating that Netflix series, so I'm gonna stop sharing for a second so we could do a little bit more talking, okay? Because I want to really dive into the whole Netflix series concept. Here's some things that you should be mindful of. All the social media platforms have devalued business accounts. And what I mean by that is there was once upon a time where you could be a business and like flood the platforms with your content. Why should people buy this, do business with you? But there was a big legal battle and huff and puff because the platforms were meant to be for social users, for social engagement, interaction between people. So as an individual, your personal accounts weigh so much more than any business account that you have. So I'm going to be talking about content through that lens of you as yourself. You're the personal brand that you need to focus on developing. I'm just by a show of emojis, does everyone understand personal brand? You are a business, you are a personal brand. People want to hang out with you. That's why you have the friends that you have on Facebook, the followers you have on Instagram, because they like you. So you're about to have your own reality show on Netflix, right? I know, right? It's kind of scary. So just know, so I don't want to hear anyone saying, well, I'm not that cool. Yes, you are. Otherwise you wouldn't have people following you. Don't say anything like, well, I don't have anything to say. Well, we're going to talk about what you need to say. And one more important point is I want you guys to all be authentic. Do not look at what other people are doing and think you have to do it too. There is an audience specifically waiting for you to show up. Whether you're thinking of this through the lens of Toastmasters or your professional endeavors as it relates to Toastmasters or any mixture of it, there's an audience that is looking for your quirkiness, your stubbornness, your stoicness, whatever you are, there's an audience for you. So before I keep going, any questions? No. I really love engagement. So feel free to even come off from mute and tell a joke, because it's if we were in person, this would be a little different. No?
Okay, I have a question.
All right, Ms. Carla.
How do you engage across all platforms, and do you use the same content? How
All
do you use
right.
different content?
So that's a really good question. You shouldn't. You would drive yourself crazy. You would drive yourself crazy. But remember that slide, and I'll bring it back up in just a second, where I said how long content lasts per platform. You want to ask yourself, because posting on social media does require effort. So based on whatever actual time you have in your life to commit to social media, so if you only have 1 hour, you have to create the content and post the content. I would really decide what platform you're going to focus on based on the length of time the content lasts on the platforms. That's being effective. Sorry, that's being effective with your time. Okay, so do not post on all the platforms unless you plan on making social media management your full-time job. My recommendations for the audience that is here would ideally be Facebook, Instagram, and definitely YouTube. And for those who really have a very professional background, and what I mean by professional, you're still attached to like corporate America, you're still attached to those type of networks, LinkedIn. So pick 2 of the 5 I just said, only 2, okay? Until you get supremely comfortable with it. Then you can add more. But if you're not like really, you know, those are all personal choices, okay? So only select 2. And TikTok, if you're feeling real sassy. Okay.
Hey, Tavia,
Hey, Steve.
this is Steve. In the old days, I used to use Hootsuite, right? So you
Yes.
sit there and you pick all your social media and you schedule. I used to schedule my social for the week, and it used to be free. Is there anything out there without going to like Radian 5 and Hootsuite? Is there anything else like it, like that's lighter than either one of them, that's free that we can use?
So Hootsuite is still a thing. Later, Planoly, those are all scheduling programs. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Social media platforms don't really like third-party platforms to post on their native platform, because they want social. They don't want another robot to come in and post your content. They want you, because the name of the game is to get people to actually stay on the platform so that those ads that are being played, you are seeing them. That's how those platforms are making their money, because they're not charging us to post. They make their money via ads. And so like TV, the longer we watch, the more we're developing brand recognition of the ads that are swiping past us, okay? So you could use a schedule app, but it devalues your content that you're posting on the platform. When I say devalue, what it means is the IG, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, is like, we're not going to show that really because you didn't abide by our rules. So if you're going to put effort into designing your content and think through it, then I would recommend not necessarily working against yourself. You can do it though, but don't expect the same turnaround.
This is Saida. I have a question.
Yes.
And that's the
about
difference
scheduling?
between
Because I
a
think
few years
Facebook
ago and
used-
today.
Okay, I didn't hear you, Saida.
This is Saida. What about scheduling? Like if you schedule something and then have it post like for elections are next in 2 weeks. So you can post something like, remember to register to vote or something like that. And you schedule it to come out next week, Tuesday, for example. Is that okay to do? Thank you.
Facebook pages and groups, I think, allow for scheduling natively within the platform. So anything that's native to the platform is good. If you're using an outside third party, not so good. You could use those apps though to pre-plan your content, and then so it's sitting in the app, those platforms, and you go in and then you publish it manually. So that's a little bit more, they're more okay with that. But to just set it on schedule, plan, and go, your content will not get where it needs to go. People will not see it. Because those platforms will be like, well, if you didn't have enough respect to stay on the platform and make sure it got to where it needs to go, we're not gonna push this out. Shame on you. So those are just things to be mindful of. Any another question before I go back to your content themes that you should consider posting? Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about content themes. Okay, so now we didn't select the 2 platforms that you're going to get savvy with. Okay, you're going to get socially savvy with at least 2 platforms. If social media is really, really, really foreign to you, then focus on one, but make sure it's the platform that you get the most bang for your free buck. Okay. 2, ideal, but if that's too much of a push, then definitely 1. And the reason why I say 2 or 1, because the name of the game is being consistent. You have to consistently post. Now, that doesn't necessarily equate to posting every day, but if you're going to post, if you decide you're going to post consistently 3 times per week, then you need to consistently post 3 times per week, because the platforms love that and they will start to share your content with more people. The other thing I would like to make a good distinction between Facebook and say Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. Facebook, especially your personal pages, is only going out to the people you follow, that follow you. If you don't have a public personal account, which means anyone can come to your account and look at it, then you're only speaking to one audience. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and all the other platforms, typically, unless you set it to private, you have a greater chance of coming across people who don't follow you. And if we're looking at this through a Toastmasters lens and we want to recruit people, then we want to be much more public focused than closed focused, unless you know for sure your friends and your family are going to become Toastmasters members, which is a possibility, but only you know your audience that way. So that's also a big distinction too. So that should help that out. You should be mindful, especially if you're using social media for Toastmasters. You want to be mindful of the platforms you're going to select, because you want to have like a public facing, the ability to interact with people that don't know you personally, so that you can reel them into the Toastmasters world. Flora, yes? You're on mute.
I just would like to remind everyone, when you do post for Toastmasters, you must use the brand colors. You must use the branding that Toastmasters have provided for us. And you can go on toastmasters.org and go under resource and find the brand manual, so that you won't just be posting things that don't relate to Toastmasters if you're attempting to share about Toastmasters.
Okay, so Flora gave you the disclaimer. I'm going to tell you what really works in social media. Okay, so we have a clear understanding. Because this is a Toastmasters training, you are supposed to use Toastmasters branded content when you're specifically promoting like an actual meeting, a training, like anything like we're going to do Toastmasters protocol, it should be in Toastmasters branding. However, if you haven't noticed, you're probably not getting a lot of engagement on that content. Because I've looked at some of the content, it's not very engaging. So we're going to talk about, remember, you are an individual person. We're going to talk about you as a personal brand, how you can share with the world how great Toastmasters is in a more authentic and organic manner that engages your audience. If that sounds like something you're interested in, please give me an emoji of a thumbs up, a clap, a smiley face, happy face, something, because we need, the engagement is the key. Okay, so, all right, great. So listen very closely. You heard the disclaimer. So what I'm going to say is not necessarily associated with using Toastmaster branding. You're going to use yourself as a person to get people inspired and have a strong desire to check out what your Toastmasters has to offer. Yeah? Okay. So let me get back to sharing this. Okay. Here are 5 pillars. I'm trying to move my screen so I can see better. Here are 5 content buckets, content themes, types of content you should create to build a personal relationship with your audience. Build a relationship, build a rapport, connect with them. You know how we say, oh my gosh, Toastmasters is so great. You should come check it out, right? We say that. What you should be doing is show them, don't tell them. Show them behind the scenes of getting ready for a Toastmasters meeting. Show them what the process looks like. Don't tell them. We could say a lot of things. So this is where video content is super important. If you are preparing for a speech, okay, or you're preparing for any of the roles in a meeting, then you should get out your handy dandy cell phone. That's actually all you need, either a cell phone or an iPad or some type of tablet. You do not need, you know, filming equipment or anything of that nature. Get out your handy dandy phone, film yourself preparing for a meeting. Maybe that's getting your word of the day cards. Maybe you're thinking of table topics. Maybe you're running through your script for your speech. Film yourself getting ready for your Toastmasters meeting and post that. Okay, so whatever it is, whatever element of Toastmasters, please capture the behind the scenes or elements of an actual meeting. The fun part, you talking, because also I want to be mindful. Don't just film people if you didn't get their permission, okay? Please respect people's privacy. So if you do go to a Toastmasters meeting, I don't know what the official rules are, but at least just film yourself or get permission to film other people while they're engaging in the Toastmaster process, all right? Also, another content bucket to consider is inspirational or funny. Maybe table topics for the week was, you know, quirky, funny, you know, speaking prompts. Share that on your post. Hey people, how would you answer this question? And then you give whatever the table topic question was, assuming it was funny or inspirational. Can I get some thumbs up or nods if that makes sense? Or put in the chat if it doesn't, or if you would like more clarity. Okay. All right, thank you. All right. Inspirational or funny. Or I didn't put this one, but this is also something worth noting. Connect with your audience. You know what? Growing up, my favorite ice cream was vanilla ice cream on a hot summer day in Lancaster at this Lancaster City Park. Oh, I just love sitting at the playground eating vanilla ice cream. Hey friends, what was your favorite ice cream as a kid? And guess what? People are going to comment. Now, the reason now this has nothing, so this has nothing to do with Toastmasters, right? But the reason why you want to post something like that is to increase the engagement. You want everybody who normally do not comment or respond to your post to respond. And the reason why that's important is because then it tells the platform, Facebook, Instagram, or any other platform like, oh my goodness, Leslie posted this and people loved engaging with that. So let's put out more of Leslie's content so more people can see it. You want to work with the algorithm and not against it. So every now and then you have to throw in a random just connect with people and being human type of post, okay? Because if all you're ever doing is talking about Toastmasters or talking about your business, because this also applies to if you have a business, you have to, the algorithms, the AI, the technology on these platforms are very smart. Even if you're on a personal account, but all you talk about is business, it will devalue that because it wants you to be social, not just always selling, always pitching this, you know, they want to know that you're connecting with your people. Oh, Kathy, that's a good question. So Kathy asked me about a time allowed for posting. I see people cutting their messages into 3-4 postings. So Kathy, can you maybe give me come off mute and give me a little bit more clarity on the cutting part, messages into 3-4 posting? What do you mean by that?
Sure. Hi, thank you. It was probably mostly on the Facebook when they started the I can't even know the word, where you have short messages that disappear in 24 hours. So I filmed this thing. I did this thing in my backyard for my business, and it like ended, or I couldn't post it. And so I don't know how to cut and move it over to another segment. Does that make sense?
Yes, well, at least I think. So here's what I'm going to say. So if you're going to do, say, any video content, right? My recommendation is for lasting power to make sure you post it in your actual feed. So on Facebook, on your actual timeline, and then share that post to your stories. So then that way it stays longer. It doesn't just disappear in 24 hours. Okay. Right. So, and then also I would say, make sure your videos are really people's attention span have significantly decreased. Part of that might be social media. There's a lot of reasons why people's attention spans are decreasing. So I would say, don't do videos longer than 1 minute unless you're really going to be like training people on something. If you just want to,
So excuse me, just 1 sec. So you stop and then start again, or are you supposed to remember to edit it? So
yeah. So I would say, so say, and I'm gonna just throw out some random time numbers. So say you know you have 10 minutes worth of a video that you want to share. I would do only 1 minute blocks. That's the series. Remember how we said the Netflix series? That's 10 episodes. Okay. So people know, and you should, in your caption, you should say part 1. And so that way people know, oh, this is part 1. I like this. I want to come back for part 2. So this is what I'm saying. You want to make it binge worthy. You want people to know that this is a series of videos. This is come back for more of it.
Okay.
So whether it's a picture post, a video post, or a caption post, make sure you let people know this is a series of it and make sure it's good.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right. So transformational. Show your own before and after. Sorry, I need to put in. Show your own before and after. You could share someone else's, but this will not connect with your audience. So let's think we're going to use something not so serious. Weight loss. You know, maybe someone's selling a pill, a tea, or whatever, right? And they show someone else's before and after picture. Let's be honest. How many of us have looked at that and was like, oh, I don't actually know them. So that could be da 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 da. But when it's your friend who you saw what they look like before and you saw their after, you're ready to do whatever they're doing, right? So when you're showing some type of level of transformation, my recommendation is to share your own personal transformation or someone very closely related, like a family member. Like, you just want to make sure it's not just some random person that does not connect with people. A very small population will respond, but it goes deeper when it's your transformation. Okay, I see a question. What do you think about sharing IG to Facebook? Well, they're owned by the same people, so that's good. Okay, so that's good. You wouldn't necessarily, you don't share TikTok to IG and you don't share IG to TikTok. Okay, so you don't, so because they're owned by the same people, I think you're safe, but you don't jump ship and share the same content because again, in Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, you can create and you can edit. I see your hand, Olin, give me just a second. I see you can create a video on your phone and edit it within those social media platforms and then post it, right? But if you edit a video within the Instagram platform and then save it and share it on TikTok, there are data analytics within that video file. I forgot the technical term, but basically Instagram's fingerprint is on that video and TikTok doesn't like it. Likewise, if you're on TikTok and you edit the video, TikTok's fingerprint is on that video. And when you go to share metadata, thank you. It's like, oh no, how dare you? You have the audacity. So you're kind of wasting your time a little bit. Oh, and go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Just adding to what you said about Facebook and Instagram, my club actually wants me, as we're setting up or reestablishing our Facebook for the club, wants me to integrate it with Instagram. And I noticed, I just looked in there, you can actually synchronize those two together. So it's not like 2 steps. You can still do like what you recommend, focus on your 2 main legs and walk with that rather than all 5 of those. But I just was curious, where would I be able to find out more about? I don't think that would involve any extra work because they are owned by the same company.
Right.
Are you familiar with synchronizing those two? And if so, what tips do
I
you
plan
have?
on sending, along with the slide deck, I plan on sending links of resources to help you guys navigate the multiple platforms that you want to navigate on. I see a few questions. What tool do you recommend to take a snippet of a video already posted featuring myself in? So Rose, is that like maybe you did an Instagram video and you want, or can you explain what is the original video? Is it just sitting on your phone? Where's that original video from?
Hi. No, this video is actually a band, and I'm in the video and I'm playing the drums. So I just want to feature myself playing the drums, but it's already been posted on YouTube.
Already posted on YouTube? Do you have direct access to like just getting the video?
Yes, I probably could.
Okay. Well, because the easiest, or the most effective, easiest way to make sure that video does what you want it to do and reach the audience you want it to do is to get the original video, open up whatever platform you want to post that video and edit in the platform. The platforms want you guys to do that. That's why, cell phones, like that's why you don't need like camera equipment or this and that. They have started to create the editing software within their own platforms. So wherever, if you filmed it on whether you did film it on some fancy camera equipment, get it on your phone. And if you have Apple, it's actually easy nowadays to get video footage to your phone or film it with your phone, edit the video within the platform that you want it to post to and do it that way. The metadata, that's the word metadata, is higher when you do that. And so the platform is like, oh, let's share this ASAP. We like this,
Okay, so then what you're saying then is, I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit confused here. Are you saying that if I'm going to post it on YouTube and I have the video that was taken of me, then I'm going to go into so I'm going to go into YouTube and I can edit it in YouTube?
You sure can. Post it? Yep. Even from your phone.
Okay.
There's a YouTube Studio app. So like I said, a lot of these platforms have got very savvy with their editing.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you, Steve. Yes. Olin, did you see that? Meta and IG FAQ for syncing? Okay. So let's talk about Canva real quick. Canva is a great graphic designing tool, videos. It still does not trump editing and creating the content in the platform. So know that whenever you take something off the platform, you're reducing the value some, versus when it's created in the platform, the value soars and the platform wants to help you out by pushing this out to more people. You can use all the third parties you want. There's nothing wrong with that. Just know that doing so, you reduce your value of where that post is going to go some, okay? All right, so one of the number 4 is why it matters. In your language to your audience, don't use, especially when we're talking about Toastmasters, don't use heavy Toastmaster language. Your audience who's never been to Toastmasters don't understand nothing about that. And quite honestly, they're probably gonna think you're weird. Have you ever, and I'm gonna talk about myself, so forgive me if I'm going to offend someone else by making reference to myself. For those who may know me, I used to sell Mary Kay. Okay. If you've seen people who might be in, we have a certain language in the Mary Kay world. So you guys are like, oh, here come that Mary Kay lady again, talking about this and that. But if I'm talking about how to look 10 years younger, how to add moisture back into your skin, you're going to start listening to me versus me using the Mary Kay language. So use language that's friendly to an audience that knows nothing about Toastmasters. If we're talking about table topics and we're the table topics master, they're like, what? But if you say, man, I've worked on my impromptu speaking skills so that when I go to networking events, I can communicate confidently. What? Now people are listening to what you have to say. You see the difference? Okay. Then I see the question. I'm not very tech savvy, so I wonder, do you post these in your general feed or your Toastmasters page? Okay. Because again, Facebook is actually the first platform that had that conflict of business accounts and personal accounts. So it is, if you really wanted to go far, you post on your personal account. Then you might want to either share that post, depending on what your security settings are on your personal account, and tag the Toastmasters page, or you could share it to the page. but it really just kind of depends on how you guys want to manage that. But just know that pages, business pages, those things are not, remember the value points, the value system, it doesn't have a high value versus the personal. Okay, so just be mindful of that. So for me, all my social media accounts are public. Okay, and I'll give you a little bit of why I do that. Because as Flora said, I've always been in some form of a business. And so I'm always looking, so in a sense, my social media accounts have always been lead generating accounts for me. So I want to have the greatest reach. So I make my things public so that if someone likes what I am talking about, they're going to share it with people. Now, because my things are public, I share less detailed personal stuff, specifically on Facebook. Like you might see pictures of my kids, but very rarely. I will talk about my kids, but not necessarily, versus if it's like a private account and it's only my family and friends. And of course, you're gonna see the birthday parties and all those things. But because I choose to operate with public accounts because my social media is lead generating for me, then I minimize how much of my personal life that involves like my family. I minimize that. So I don't give away too many details. Okay. Yeah. So Leo, so whenever you're doing anything, and I'm going to show you guys my social media, I'm going to give you some examples so you can see. Just bust out your phone. Most phones these days have really great cameras. So bust out your phone, film it on your phone as is, and then open up whatever platform, IG, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and edit within the platform and then post it on that particular platform. Okay. All right. So why it matters. So always share posts about why it matters, not using such niche language, and show your vulnerability. Excuse me. Show the bloopers. Show you messing up. Just show it. It makes you much more relatable. I'm sure you all have heard that. You know that it just makes you more relatable. Laugh at yourself. Laugh at yourself and be okay with laughing at yourself. Okay. I'm gonna pause for a second. Are there any more questions? I'm gonna stop sharing because this is where I would really love for you guys to, kind of open up maybe some scenarios before I start showing you examples.
I have a question.
Yes.
My name is Nicole, and I do the social media for Visalia Toastmasters in Central California here. We get pretty consistent engagement on our Instagram, and our Instagram and our Facebooks are linked. So we get pretty consistent interaction on our Instagram. It's not huge, but it's consistent. We don't get very consistent interaction on Facebook, even though they are linked. Are there things that we can be doing differently to engage our audience on Facebook?
Well, know that the audience is different on Facebook. Okay, so just because we talked about this earlier, just because you can link Instagram and Facebook does not mean you're going to get the same outcome for the same type of post. Because remember, those two platforms have different audiences that they're catering to. So for Facebook, Instagram, naturally, since I'm pretty sure Nicole is a big public account, right? Instagram is used to a wider audience, a wider catch net of people. Facebook, not so much. So to get engagement on Facebook, I would recommend tagging people, like maybe tagging members from the actual club on the Facebook side of it, so that they and their people will go look at the posts and actually engage.
Okay.
On Instagram, it's just more like it's going to start, it'll populate in people's feeds. Whereas Facebook, it's not the same level of like the feed where people are just watching and looking.
Mm-hmm.
You got to bring the eyes to Facebook. You got to bring them to that particular post to get the engagement.
Okay. Something I will note, this is in my personal experience managing both accounts kind of simultaneously. I notice with Facebook, the ability to tag a member, even if they like the Facebook page as their individual account, things seem to have gotten fussy recently about the permissions as far as tagging a member. What I have found a little more success doing is commenting on the original Facebook post as myself, as my personal account,
Mhm.
and tagging those people, those members, if I'm friends with them, I tag them in a comment.
Yes, you are absolutely right that they have changed that because again, privacy, business, it just got murky. So again, always try to incorporate more of your personal stuff if you are willing, whenever possible, because it will always do better. So Nicole, thank you for bringing that up. So definitely as a personal person, go in and put in the comment section, like I posted yesterday and I commented Flora's name in the post. And I think I did it as myself. That was the only way I could do it. I couldn't do it as the admin of the account. They used to be different. It used to be that way, but now it's not. So let's see.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. So let's look at some examples. Let me bring up, because here's, I'm not sure if I said it enough, but I'll make sure I say it again. Video is king. Video is king. Video is king. One more time. Video is king. Pictures are devalued, not as high value. Captions, word captions, not as high value. Video will get you the most bang for your buck. Instagram, Facebook, they're all promoting video. Okay, so get comfortable with video. In video, once upon a time, video used to have you probably can't see it, but I have a fancy camera right over there and light and teleprompter. You don't really need that now. I use it because I produce professional training videos, but on social media, regular account, business, your phone is everything you need. So video is everything. And I'm going to focus on reach. Let me pull up any other questions while I'm pulling up, for example, my Instagram.
Tavia, are you saying that you would suggest not to link your, like I'm on Instagram and I have it automatically linked to my Facebook? Is that going to take me down in the?
No, it won't take you down because again, Facebook and Instagram are owned by the same people. So they're like, cool, but you won't have the same outcomes. It won't have the same reach because Instagram and Facebook caters to different audiences. So if you're like killing on Instagram, but you're like, oh my gosh, why is my Facebook not doing anything? Well, because that type of content appealed to the Instagram audience does not appeal to the Facebook audience.
Okay, thank you for the clarity.
Yeah. All right. All right, so, all right, you see my Instagram? Yeah. All right, we're gonna go to my actual Instagram account. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so, let's go. All of these are videos. I only have a few pictures and I'm gonna show you because I actually took a year off of social media. Because as much as I love it when a lot of what you do involves social media, you do get tired and burnt out. So I'm gonna go down a little bit. So pictures was king on Instagram, right? Okay, so notice here, this is a picture in the middle, 17 likes, only 3 comments. This is another one, 6 likes, 1 comment. These are videos, but I'm gonna open them up. This is a video, 92 likes, 3 comments. This is a picture, 2 likes, 1 comment. Can you start seeing the trend? How, this is a video, 37 likes. This is 153 likes, and 4 comments. And I'm gonna open it up because I think it will show you the views. Actually, nope, we gotta go somewhere else. So this video was a video I filmed over a year ago at the beach on my phone. And then I decided to go into the platform and edit this video. Now the audio you're listening to, this is something you should be mindful of for Instagram and TikTok and maybe Facebook, but definitely Instagram and TikTok, is trending audios. That sound was a trending audio, which meant it was populating in everyone's feed a lot more. So any video that used that audio, more people saw it. Let me see if I can go, because I want to show you the actual analytics. I don't know, let's see. Okay. All right, so here's of these videos: 199 views, 1,074 views, 82 views, 688, 97, 406. These are not all people that follow me. These are not all people that follow me. 210, 110, 630, 664, 975. I have higher ones. 3,889 views. Again, I don't have 3,899 followers. Okay, 1,900 views, 1,770 views. So this is the talking head video I was referring to. Leslie, if Leslie is still on, this. Okay, so if you have a Toastmasters tip or a business tip or anything that's not you dancing and singing, you do a talking head video. Okay, now you did hear music behind it because I was trying out, I wanted to test out that if I did a talking head video and had a trending audio in the background playing, would it up the views? And so I use my personal account, or well, personal / business account, because I use my accounts as lead generating to test out different options to see what works best. Let's see. My highest producing, my highest producing reel is 298 likes, 8,477 plays, right? 727, 3,652. I used to do a thing called Reset Saturday, so people would come and view what I was doing to reset mentally on Saturdays. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second because I see some comments. Any questions? How do I know that it's trending audio? I will open back up and show you, okay? Ooh, that's a good question. You know what, Beth? I'm gonna have to open up my Facebook and it's easier to, any other questions while I look that up about social media, or specifically Instagram at this time?
I have a question. What do you think about animated videos that you can?
I know animated videos do well on YouTube. I have not seen them, and when I say I haven't seen them, like they're not trending, they're not in high rotation on Instagram and Facebook, but I do see them on YouTube. So I don't think it's bad. It just depends on what platform you want to focus on. And also, when you say animated, are you referring to drawing videos, like videos of like cartoon-ish characters, or a video that it's words, but the words are moving?
No, I'm talking about the, you know, those animated videos in a box. So if you have script, the characters will read the words in your script.
Yeah, I don't see them in high rotation on Instagram and TikTok, but definitely on YouTube. So, but the best thing you can always do is try it out. And when I say by trying out, you have to give yourself 30 days of whatever you're going to try out. Okay. If you try it out for just a week, you're not going to get enough rich data to really suggest what is working for you. And remember how I started off earlier in this training, I said, open up your own accounts on your own, whatever social medias, and look at your highest performing post, like the most likes, the most comments, the most shares, whatever that is, and identify what about that post was it a personal post? Was it a funny joke? Was it inspirational? Was it controversial? Was it, what was it? Like, identify that type of post and start seeing what your high performing posts are, because that's letting you know right now that your audience likes those types of posts. So you want to stay within that vein of producing more content like that. So Sylvia, the people that watch your video because of the algorithm, trending music may not stay, right? How to make them stay? Actually, so if they come watch it and they like it, Instagram, so the fact that they came and watched it, Instagram is more likely to push it back out to them, the next video. So just because they don't stay by becoming a follower doesn't mean they're not going to keep consuming your content. Now, on my page of what I just shared with you, I don't have a call to action. I'm not really trying to get them to buy anything or do anything, but I'm trying to think, do I have one? I have to think about it, but you have to have a call to action. So if you want people, to stay, become a follower or do something, you have to have a call to action. But before you can get to a call to action, which means you're inviting them to do something, you have to first build that rapport. And building that rapport is by producing content consistently. You can't post once a month and think people are going to trust you and that you're trustworthy. You need to build up your know, like, and trust factor. And that's by posting content consistently, posting content that makes people feel good, posting content that gets people to think. If you are, and I know there's going to be a difference of opinion on this one, but if you have very strong political, religious, ethnic views, and you're going to use your account to reel people in, be mindful that when you post such strong beliefs, you're going to push other people away. So again, because my accounts are public, I have very strong beliefs, but you wouldn't really know it on my accounts because again, my accounts are used for lead generating. So I just want to keep making that distinction. You can do whatever you want with your personal accounts, but if you're in any kind of business owner and you need people to either buy what you're selling, do what you have to offer, you want to consider lightening up, unless what you're selling or doing is very focused on whatever those strong opinions are. That's the only time I would say it, go move forward with it. So just be mindful of that. Some of your friends are crazy. Oh, well, that can make for interesting engagement. Yeah. On my Facebook, because that's more of like where my actual friends or business associates are at, I kind of give them, I let them know, this isn't the post for you to just come and drop your crazy thoughts. So just scroll through. Like I'll put that disclaimer there. I'll give an old example, but when I was selling Mary Kay, I've made like $4,000 within a 24-hour period just on my Facebook alone. So this stuff works. It's just how you choose to use it. But back then, my youngest child, his name is Mickey. I homeschool my children. And so one of my content buckets that I would post about is what it was like to homeschool my children while being a businesswoman. And so one of my segments was, where's Mickey when I'm working? Right. And so a few times a week, if I was filming a YouTube video, right, and you saw the finished product of me of this YouTube video, I would show behind the picture video or a picture of Mickey holding onto my leg while I'm filming. And people would just eat that up. They would love it. And then people would start to ask me when I would go out in public, where's Mickey? One time I went to San Diego, okay, for a Mary Kay conference. I went to San Diego and this woman who I did not know walked up to me and she's like, where's Mickey? And I was like, oh my gosh. At the time I lived in Lancaster, I'm like, this woman in San Diego wants to know where's Mickey. So that's why I'm saying you want to create binge-worthy content where people come to know you and come find you on the platform so they can engage in your content. Okay. Yes, you want the post to help promote our ideas, organizations, and not hurt our good intentions. Yes, Angelina. Yes. Any other specific questions about your content themes? Post consistently. You don't have to post every day, but right now I want you guys, since you have your pens and papers, notebooks, iPads, here's a couple of questions I want you to answer for yourself right now. How many times a week will I post? Write that down. There's no right or wrong answer. Just whatever you decide, you just need to make sure you're doing it consistently. I see those questions. I will get to that. What are my 5 content themes I'm going to post about? Remember, that's the inspirational, funny quote, behind the scenes footage, transformational footage, or a vulnerability post. You could do a Tip Tuesday post. It could be a Thirsty Thursday, Wine Wednesday. Are you gonna have, depending on what you're trying to promote, find out what your themes are going to be. Define them right now, okay? And then decide what your call to action is gonna be. Why are you posting this? One is always to build that rapport and relationship. But when you start to see the same people coming back, know that you have developed a relationship, and now what do you want them to do? So let me get to these questions. If we apply that to promoting TM, the call to action would be come visit our club. What are the other options to use? Actually, I think that's too big of a call to action. I think that's too big of a call to action. I would say, so say if, since Toastmasters is public speaking and you show maybe a behind the scenes clip, my call to action is comment down below, what's your fear about public speaking? Comment down below what your success is on public speaking. What are your tips on how to be a great public speaker? You want to engage them a little bit more. I think inviting them somewhere that's marriage. We're still dating them. So social media is speed dating. When they start to comment and come and respond to your call to action, you're officially dating. And when you can actually get them to an actual event or a purchase, or that you done married them. Okay. So I hope that, Sylvia, I hope that example I gave you was another good call to action, which actually should come before the come visit our club. Get them to engage more on the posts. Because what if they're like, I'm a great speaker. And so someone says, oh my gosh, I love public speaking. I've been doing it for 20 years. My response to that comment would be, oh my gosh, Sylvia, that is amazing. I can't believe you've been a public speaker for 20 years. We have a club that could use your level of expertise as an evaluator. Have you ever thought about visiting a Toastmasters club? All right. I think Twyla, I hope I'm saying that right. I never invite anyone to a meeting. That shuts people down who already have too many meetings. I agree, because I'm a person who in a course of a day could spend from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. all meetings back to back. So as soon as someone says come to a meeting, nope, I don't want to go. But if you continue to develop that relationship and promoting the value of it, then I will naturally want to come and partake in that value. Does evergreen content still exist? Well, Ryan, do you mind coming off and kind of explain? Because when I think of evergreen, I think of a few ways in which evergreen still exists, but in what context are you referring to evergreen? If you don't mind coming off, hopefully, maybe. Okay. I like the misspeak, Leslie's. Have you ever misspoken? I like that too. But I would maybe find additional ways to rephrase that. Have you ever said 5 times in one sentence? Are you ever worried about saying the wrong thing? The language is a little bit more casual and invites people to engage back. I like misspoken, but believe it or not, that word might be too serious for some people or intimidating. All right. So Leah, you're speaking of something, and I'm so glad you brought that up. So last week you got twice the engagement on a Saturday post. Is that typical or just or am I following? Yes, everything is based on what your current following is. But also keep in mind, maybe the post on Saturday was just better than all the posts throughout the week. So you got to kind of take that into consideration. When you decide to get a little bit more savvy with social media, we could go into the data analytics to know what is really working. But this, and I think that's going to be kind of a part 2 training where we'll talk about the data analytics and how to know what's really working in your audience and your reach. But right now we want to focus on how to get people to engage with you. Like we want them to keep coming back. We want them to like and comment. Leah, are you getting ready to say something?
Well, I was just listening. I thought, well, if I have to comment, I'm ready. But
Oh,
I'm just
yes. I would
appreciating
say
this.
I would say, see what is the difference between the posts, but it could be a data analytics, which you're following like, oh, we like, Saturday better because we're not working. Because maybe they're really hardcore workers and they're not going to waste their time on social media. But Saturday, I could scroll until I become a zombie. So those are some elements to consider,
Right. And I love the part 2 idea. I'm already like, ooh.
Data. So we can jump into the data, the analytics, because in a course of 30 days, now if you notice on my Instagram, I only have 1,265 followers. I only have 1,265 followers. In a 30-day period, my reach has been over 100,000 views and 100,000 accounts. My content has got in front of 100,000 accounts with my 1,200 followers. Okay, so do not think if your stuff is public, that's why it's beneficial to have like public accounts, meaning anyone can look at it, because that means your content is going out to a whole lot of people. That's good for anyone who has a business, even if your account is not a business account. If you have a business, you need to do business with people, or you want to promote something to sell it, it's important. My recommendation is to have a public account so you can get in front of more eyes, okay? Let me see, I'm reading the comments. Oh, that's a good question. As a president, what should you post? As a president, you're a leader. Do you feel like, Leonard, I hope I'm saying it right. Do you feel like you have a leadership philosophy or principles that you're using while serving as the president? Well, I would share things from that leadership perspective. And share videos of you calling the meeting to order, or what you learned as a leader in Toastmasters. Yes, I think that would be really helpful. I'm curious, how did your pictures, your Zoom meeting pictures actually do on Facebook? If you're willing to comment, how well did they actually do? And then your favorite word is soul. Yeah. You remember I said vulnerability? So even if we're in Toastmasters, right? We all misspeak. We all have a so, a thing, right? Call it out. Call it out. Even I'm a DTM. Still call it out. Woo! I'm so glad I have Toastmasters that help me work on my continual effort to communicate with confidence with minimal amount of ums. Because last week I had 62 ums. And people are going to be like, oh, so you want to call those things out. Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, well, I do say though, Leah, so that's good too. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, but call it out, even in your own. That's how people will approach you. People are so tired, especially with us having dealt with this pandemic and being online. I love social media, and I think that's why I took a year off, because the pandemic made everybody go online. All the people that's crazy, ain't got no sense, all the jokers, the fakers, everybody that became a coach all of a sudden, showed up online. And so while it was beautiful because it made the world a little bit smaller because we were all online, but it allowed for a lot of people who actually have no skills, who are not good people, to saturate the space. So we're in an arena where people really want to connect with people. We don't want to hear the gimmicks. We don't want to hear the sales pitch. We want to know you are a real person, you're a good person, and that what you have to offer is valuable, and we will continue to consume it. And then you develop your call to action. If you ever thought about Toastmasters, send me a message. Did you think Toastmasters was all about toast? Because I know I did when I first heard the name in 2005. That was the first time I heard about Toastmasters. And I was like, they talk about toast? Okay. So Please do that. Celebrations, milestones, kudos to firm recognized club members. Again, I love that, Angelina. Be mindful of, we don't use such heavy Toastmasters language. Give the kudos and the recognition, but remember your audience, your public, they know nothing about that. And so when we use such heavy niche language, whether it was Mary Kay or Toastmasters or whatever it is, you're alienating people who are like, I don't know what that is. This post isn't for me. If it's about, say, someone finally earns their CC, I don't think they call it CC anymore, but someone earns their CC, right? I am so proud of my friend Sylvia. She came to Toastmasters just really not enjoying public speaking. And you know what, through her hard work and commitment, 6 months later, she earned her first achievement. She's a competent communicator. For those who don't know, that means she can speak in a public setting, right? And so my last point I will make, Toastmasters is drinking club, I thought, right? Well, that would be a fun theme. Mocktails and Toastmasters. Okay, and one of my last points I will share with you guys before I wrap it up to any final Q&A. Get good, get better, be awesome at how to say something. I just gave you guys a few examples of how I shifted TM language to something that was a little bit more general and probably pique people's interest into what I was talking about. Okay. I hope that point was clear. And if it's not, you can give me a scenario in which you want to say something and we could talk about how to better say it so that it piques people's interest. All right. All right, well, we're officially at the Q&A point. You will get the slide deck and you will get some of my links as well as a content calendar. A content calendar is basically a 30-day calendar with no month. You can write the month in and the days of the week, and you can write down the theme that you want to speak about. You can plan out your content. It's really a basic template. It's nothing fancy. It's just a way to help you brain dump on it, on when you want to post it, what you want to caption, and what platform you want to post it on. There's even content planners. I have one. I don't have it with, oh, actually I do. Take that back. But I have this content planner because oh no, this isn't it, or is it? Nope, sorry. I have an official social media content planner because I manage several accounts and do a lot of things. So I have an actual planner that does that, but on the most basic level, you just need a 30-day calendar to write in what theme you're going to focus on that day, what platform you're going to post on, and what type of content. Is it a video? Is it a picture? Is it a caption? So I love how to say things in a more engaging way. I could tell you you're crazy and say it with a smile and you'll think it's a compliment. That's how you know you didn't master the art of communication. Oh, okay. Well, Leah, can I call y'all now? I see that post. You can't make that comment. Well, can you use your voice with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, what you want me to make that post?
Pretend you're, because you were saying you don't know how to speak to a broad audience without using my health yoga. Like, what do you mean by that?
I meant losing them. I looked back and I'm like, oops. Because I normally post, yoga video or let's do something fun today and move your body and wake you up. But what I found is that with my voice students, as a voice pro, I've been a voice pro even longer than I've been a yoga coach, that I'm trying to bring that audience together. That if you need to use your voice, I'm using yoga with you. But if you are a yoga coach, which a lot of I coach coaches, they need to be able to use their voices better so that they can speak in public. So I'm trying to bring this together. And a lot of times it makes me at a loss. I still keep going on there and doing let's breathe today. Let's move. Let's get you, you're sitting in a chair and you need some energy flowing to your brain so you can think better. And I'm bringing it in, and I do some speaking engagements, but they're separate.
Actually, the whole time you were thinking, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That goes together.
Yeah.
So no, I think, I could look at your account if that might be helpful to give some suggestions. But when you were speaking about the voice coaching and the yoga, I'm like, well, that makes sense. You have to use your voice to make sure as a coach, you're a yoga practitioner, you're getting the clients you need, or you're centering yourself. But as a professional speaker, you need to be able to be mindful and center yourself and warm up the vocal cords and relax your body so you can deliver with confidence.
Yeah.
I see the connection. So,
and I've probably never posted anything like that exactly. I mean, I send emails to people when I'm getting my voice trainings together or whatever and talk about that, but I've never put it on my social platform, and I probably need to change my profile a little bit.
yeah, I just want to acknowledge, Leslie, I like your statement. I really, really do. I think that would actually be good. I think spreading the lift in the earlier days would be helpful. But here's another thing, and don't kill the messenger. I love y'all. It's time to start recruiting a younger audience. It is time to start recruiting members who are younger millennials, who are Gen Zers. So, because there is value for them to be in this space, but you're not communicating to them in a way that they get it. That's why I'm emphasizing, please don't use Toastmasters jargon on social media if you really want to recruit a wider audience of people. Gen Zs and younger millennials, I'm an older millennial, but younger millennials, the way in which we used to do business no longer is relevant today. I know somebody might be ready throwing darts at me, but the truth of the matter is things have changed greatly. And younger audiences don't have to play the game the way the game used to have to be played. And so you want to speak to that. And even older people, there are people I'm sure on here that might want to show up on YouTube. They might want to be a YouTuber. And I believe it's possible. We have to start changing our language so we are speaking to a wider audience. Maybe you're saying, maybe you're looking, maybe on your social media, you're saying to your audience, you know, are you interested in having an online presence, but you don't know how to show up online? Well, we can help you by working on your public speaking skills, because guess what? When you're online, you're speaking to the public. Now they're like, oh, wait, yeah, I want to be online. I want to do lives, but I don't want to stutter. I don't want to have all these ums when I'm online doing a live. You know, make it more relevant. Oh, even those who are still in corporate America, well, I need to go to a networking event because they said if I network, I can get a promotion, but I just don't know what to say. Oh, so you need to network like a boss? We have this thing called Table Topics, which is an impromptu conversation you're going to have with people. Come to Toastmasters. We can help you with that. Can you see how we're like, now we're speaking in a language that these people are like, wait, I do need to know how to network. But if you said Table Topics, they'd be like, no. But if you said impromptu conversation, Table Topics help you network, now they've made the connection. Are you a second act, which means you've had a career and now you're pivoting and you're changing your careers and you want to build an online community? We can help you expand your network, because being a part of Toastmasters increases your network. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox. Some members don't want to be posted on social media, and you should respect that. That hands down, don't ever violate that. I'm pretty sure there's some paperwork where people can sign off or give release permission to be on social media. Please don't ever violate that. Okay, that's the last thing we want to do. Always, if you're willing to be on social media, then you do it and ask people their permission. Thank you. All right. That is it for me. If there's not any more questions, if you do have a question that's specific to you, if you want to stay on a little bit longer, I'd be more than happy to answer one. I thank you for your time. I will provide Foro with the slide deck and the additional resources. You guys have a great Saturday. Be easy.
Thank you, Tavia. I would like to ask Roberta Nadler, which is one of our past public relations manager. Do she have any comments? You're muted, Roberta. Unmute. Go.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for all attending. First of all, my big three comments was mostly a thank you for Tavia for taking the time this morning to talk with us. And my two biggest, there's so much to learn in social media. I think it's overwhelming for a lot of people. My biggest two comments are, when we're trying to help our Toastmaster clubs, really tone down the Toastmaster jargon. I think that was a very strong point that Tavia made, to relook at every word that you write and make it more generally appealing. And the switching over to video is a big change of how we've been doing things. So I think if we focus on those things, switching to video and changing our jargon, and you do that immediately, you're going to have better results right away. And I think the idea of another analytics seminar with Tavia would be great. I also would like Tavia, and because I love to assign homework assignments when I get a chance to. If we could drill down 5 kinds of things that we want to talk to about Toastmasters, and then have Tavia give us the best wording, because I think this is where we're all having problems. They're scratching our heads going, how do we do the wording? We're not as smart as Tavia. So if Tavia, if you could give us 5 or 6 wordings for things that we want to have in our Toastmaster posts, then we don't have to do that much work. We can focus on the video and learning some of the technical parts. That would make, I think that would be a great help for people.
I think in this series, because I know Flora asked me to do a series, the next one could be how to say it. And then the third one could be the data and analytics of what you just did.
I think so, but if you give us 2 or 3 ones right away, because I don't know about all you, but
like right away. Well, somebody give me an example. Give me something so I could pitch it back to you.
All right. Have more effective communication for your YouTube and social media videos.
Have more effective communication for YouTube
and Facebook and for your social media videos. So a better way of saying that we could all use, like the wording that we need to use on our post.
To get people who would otherwise be online to want to be in Toastmasters?
Yes.
Okay.
So see how much trouble I have even explaining it to you?
So, are you trying to be like an online boss, but you don't know how to say something? Well, I recommend that you check out our 5 tips on how to show up online effectively.
So if you could send that to all of us, I mean, I know, okay. What we need, this is what we need. We need what I think one of the big asks of Toastmaster is, there's all these people online, these millennials, you just said it, and they need to go to Toastmaster meetings to get rid of the so's, the ums, not to sound terrible. We want to say that to them nicely, but we don't know how to tell them that. So if you could give us,
let me say this. May I say this? Understand that those millennials and Gen Zs are making thousands and millions of dollars by saying the so's and ums. So pointing that out to them is not going to bring them to the table.
Well, that's what we need you for, is to say, don't say that to them. This is what you need to say.
Right. So you want, go ahead. Someone's going to say something. I thought someone came off.
No, I think that was just me laughing.
Oh, so we don't want to say that because they're making quite a bit of money.
Okay.
I also want to say, I just want to point something out. I have a YouTube channel. It's under the Communications Chick, and I want to give reference to this. I think I might have 20 videos. I'm not even sure. I'm not trying to be a YouTuber. I am just making sure my digital footprint is well established because I have a business. My 20 videos in the last 2 years, between 2 years, have probably made me over $300,000. Okay, that is a selling point. Are you looking to establish your digital footprint so you increase your credibility by showing up on YouTube? Attend our special event, show up on YouTube with confidence. Gary, I see your head nodding. You like that one, Gary? Well, thank you. Thank you. Okay, Gary. Okay, you coming off on camera. All right. So did you see how I just sold that? You know, I think sometimes we get such tunnel vision about what we're doing. We alienate everyone else.
Yeah.
So you got, for a lack of a better word, me not knowing what to say, loosen up. How do you appeal to a wider audience? How do you appeal to a wider audience? I would say Toastmasters is the yoga for the professional speaker. You need to stay engaged and mindful of what you say. I could do this all day, y'all. I love saying things. That's why I'm like, give me a scenario so I could
We thank you. We thank you, Tavia. Are there any more questions or comments that anyone else would like to make? Otherwise, we will discontinue or adjourn this meeting. Raise your hands if you have anything.
I got something to say. Hold on, I got one more to say.
Okay.
Please. So I've had this conversation with Roberta and Flora. And again, forgive me if what I say might be outside of your norm. I believe in the benefits of Toastmasters. However, things need to be flexible and morphed so that it's more appealing to everyone else. So you know how I provided that example of you want to, make money, establish your digital footprint, increase your credibility on YouTube. Come to our special event. Come to our masterclass. Don't use open house. Don't use those outdated terminology that most young people are like, what? Are you selling a house? That doesn't make sense to me. Use masterclass. That's a big one. Use masterclass is it. Special event or masterclass. I am the communications chick on Instagram and Facebook. Okay. So think about, especially when you want to attract people in, this is where I said, because the brand colors, and this is Tavia speaking, not as a Toastmaster person, the brand colors are not very visually appealing. And I'm going to show you guys some Instagram, that's not even mine, but just so you can get an idea. People, those colors, okay, it's not. Also notice everything is a video, right? Colors. Let me see. Let's go to who's my favorite Instagram? Well, I love Peloton, but who's my favorite Instagrammer right now? Let's just go to Nike. No, here we go. So if there's anyone on this call, I think the Toastmaster colors are too harsh for social media. They're just too harsh. It's because it's still about aesthetics. It is still about what the eye sees, even if it's a video. Okay. So I don't know if there's anyone to actually talk about that. But I don't know if there's someone y'all could message, but the brand colors are, the way that they have it is too harsh and will not appeal to especially the younger audience, because they're used to more the pastels, more creative, more artsy looking things. So if you're able to get away with maybe using only one brand color and coordinated with colors that really complement it a little bit better, that's doable. But it's very like, oh, boring. And I'm sorry if that's offensive, but it just doesn't really draw people in. That's why it's important for you to be who you are, because that will attract people. You can be colorful, right? You can be colorful. I understand that we're dealing with a brand, but you yourself can be colorful. You can be whatever that needs to be. So yeah, please change open house, do special events, do master classes. Always lead with what's in it for them. Period. People only care about what's in it for them. What can they get out of attending that masterclass? Can they increase their network? Can they increase their influence? Will they meet people who have buying power? Will they meet people that can offer them a skill set to get a better job? Will they meet people that they could collaborate with on YouTube Lives, Facebook Lives, Instagram Lives, whatever that looks like? That's the language of today. Are you, one of the trending topics that's been trending everywhere is quiet quitting. Has anyone heard of quiet quitting? Okay, quiet quitting. It's essentially, we came from a culture, and I'm that middle generation where like, yeah, I experienced that too, but I'm young enough to still be like, yeah, I'm not doing all that. But the expectation is that when you have a job, you go over, above, and beyond, even if you're not getting paid for it. Quiet quitting is saying you will do your job as listed on a job description, but you will not let your job burn you out. You will not put in 60 hours when you're only getting paid for 40. Okay. So that is a trending concept. So how could you have a Toastmaster theme around quiet quitting? Maybe the Toastmaster theme is on productivity. And so the speakers, their speeches are focused on productivity techniques to help them manage their time effectively, to manage their stress. Maybe, Leah, you're doing a speech on chair yoga while at the office, your 9-to-5er. How to be mindful of how your body is responding to the work emails and the calls. So if you said, you know what, have you thought about quiet quitting? Well, before you go down that path, check out our masterclass on how to be productive and stress-free at work. And so one speaker is going to speak on productivity, time management, and getting things done in an 8-hour period or less. And then Leah, you can speak about how to do chair yoga and the benefits of being mindful of your body response to your workload and built-in stretch periods at work. Now you could say, here's our Toastmaster meeting, and no one's going to respond. Focus on quiet quitting and productivity and being mindful at work. People will show up because that's what's trending. That's what the world is talking about. So you guys need to be mindful of what the world is actually talking about or experiencing and being concerned about. And how can you select a meeting theme that will capture that theme. Make sure you have A1 speakers who are well, knowledgeable about what they need to talk about, and you market your event to that larger audience, not to the same old people that will show up day in and day out.
Could I have
Tavia,
just a tiny,
Go ahead, Leah.
I'm not sure I totally understand quiet quitting. Is it that they have, okay, I'm going to just do this job, and even though it's draining the life out of me, I'm doing it anyway? Is that?
Well, there's a lot of people that have kind of like construed quiet quitting, but the original intent of quiet quitting is, I'm not going to leave my job. And it's not even saying my job, I don't like my job. It is, I'm not going to give you 60 hours and I'm only paid for 40. I'm not going to, because that's the philosophy we grew up with. You do more. You do more than what you're actually getting paid for. And quiet quitting is saying, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to do my job, but I'm just going to do my job.
Yeah.
I'm going to establish boundaries where you can't come at 4:55 and say, I need this report done by 5. No. So.
Yes. But also you suggested something that was really positive there, trying to show them how to be productive with their time and manage it, et cetera, et cetera. Very good.
Exactly. So we're not, when I say focus on trending things, it's not necessarily, think of how you can do a positive spin. We don't need to reiterate the negativity, because that's not what Toastmasters is about. We want to showcase how we can pivot a situation and provide people with tactical skills and interventions that they can actually use in their life. So that also goes down to the quality and the topics of speeches. Now, I know everyone can select their own speech, but if you really want to be intentional about shifting the vibe of the meeting and bringing in people, I would say have a conversation with your members on how can we select topics, speech topics, that have real value to people. If people would want to hear a master class on how to use yoga successfully in your work life, how to, like sometimes, at least, and it's been a minute since I've been to a meeting, but sometimes the speech topics were like very niche and focused, and it's like, but that's not the audience. But when we're speaking from a membership perspective, you got to speak to a greater audience and not what you're just good at and what you want to talk about.
I love that's perfect for an educational moment. Just what you just said, telling people, your speech, we should have a theme of positivity.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then, one of the other things too, especially if you're still doing hybrid meetings or meetings are still just virtual, do a training with your club on how to be engaging virtually. Like, I have to come, when I train or I'm doing anything virtual, I have to come with a little bit more energy so that it translates well to you on the other end. Okay. So just being mindful of the actual virtual engagement. When we have a new person, are we immediately like, hey, Bob, we're so happy to have you here. What brought you to Toastmasters? If you don't feel like coming off of mute, feel free to put it in the chat box. Okay. Because we also want to be very mindful that we got to give people space. If they truly came to Toastmasters because they don't like speaking, we don't want to kind of imply that you got to come off mute and come on camera and communicate. We want to give them an easier option as well. Laura, I see your hand. You probably like, shut up, Tavia, you talking too much.
Yes, Tavia, I'm just getting ready to ask you what will be our next series. Are we going to be doing this in series? And what can the members expect for our next meeting? So that
well, it depends on, I think Roberta gave the idea of how to say it. I think that would be essential. I think that would be a good next one, how to say it. So how to say it in meeting themes, how to say it in practical meeting themes that mesh well.
Meaningful.
I could do that whenever, but what I would really like, what would be helpful to, start creating those words is a list of what you want to say. So then I can have a variety of options for each statement, because there's 100 million ways to say one thing. So it'd be helpful if we do that next, to people send in things they want to say or meeting themes they want to have. And so the next one has to be like a really engaging one. Otherwise it'll be really short.
So Tavia, will you tell the members where you would like them to send this information? Would you like them to send it to the PR, send it to the website, or send it directly to you?
I would say directly to me, because if I have to go to another platform and log in and do that, I have to be honest, it's not gonna happen. So
Okay,
I'll put
so
my
Tavia
email in
Tavia has already put her email in the chat. And Tavia, would you put it one more time so that everybody that came in late will get that?
So here's my email, and put on the subject line TM how to say it. So then I immediately know that's a list of things I need to work on.
TM how to say it.
Ooh,
okay, Tavia, I think
out.
we've had a great meeting today. It is almost 11 o'clock now. And
I appreciate y'all staying on. I hope y'all actually still there for those who are not on camera.
They are.
Is there any final thoughts?
Any final thoughts for anyone? We only lost about less than 10 people.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. This was probably the most valuable meeting I've had in a while. Webinar. We won't call it a meeting. We'll call it an experience.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I'd just like to say the same thing. That was so informative and so positive, and you gave us some really great ideas on what to do and how to do it. Thank you so much, Tavia.
Thank you. Thank you. Please email me, but keep reaching out. If you want me to look at your own social media accounts, make sure I have access to it, but email it and I will look and offer some suggestions on how to make it more engaging.
Has the next meeting already been scheduled?
No.
Okay, thank you.
No. But we'll get it there. We'll get it there. Okay.
The meeting is now adjourned, you guys.
Flora, stay on for a hot second.
I will.
Thank you very much. It was absolutely delicious, Tavia.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Gary, for staying on.
Absolutely. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, it was a great meeting.
Thank you, Miss Carolyn.
Bye.
I'm glad you made it, Carolyn.
Yeah, I did. I had to jump off and jump back on because I had to drop my granddaughter off, but I made it work.
Thank you, Denise and Anna and Leonard.
Yes, thank you so much. This was great, really great. And we will send I hope, I'm the president of Pro Talk, so I think we will send, you know, our social media accounts to you to get your opinion. That'd be great.
Pro Talk. When is Pro Talk? I feel like I was a member of Pro Talk. Wait, which one's Pro
You
Talk?
might have been. We used to meet on Saturdays and then we met on Thursdays for a while after COVID hit, and then we're back on Saturdays. I think you might have
Pro Talk,
been.
yes.
You seem
Mhm,
familiar,
yes.
so.
Well, Clarice, Clarice, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Clarice.
Yeah.
Yes, you were in that club, Tavia. You were in that club, and I think you were in
Talents Unlimited, Pro Talk, and then what's the Friday morning one at YMCA?
Shop Talk.
Y Talkers.
Shop Talk.
No, she
and
was
Y
in
Talkers.
She
Shop
was-
Talk, Y Talk. I'd have been around.
Really, this was amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You
Bye,
weren't you
everyone.
in High Desert as well?
Yep, High Desert. Yeah, I've been everywhere. Thank you, Denise, so much.
So
Thank
Denise,
you.
when you go to your clubs as area director, be sure to throw that out there to your people that you want them to attend these social media events.
Absolutely, absolutely. I wish we had done our area council meeting next week so I could tell them now, but I can email them.
Right.
Yeah,
So
we'll
I'll do
schedule
that.
the next one fairly soon, so people, because the sooner you can get people trained and on their way, the better this will be.
How can I find the recording? Maybe I could send a link to the recording.
We will let you know where to find it. It's either
Okay.
going to be on the Google Drive or it'll be on the website. It'll depend on where Clarice tell us to put it.
Okay.
In fact, I'm gonna pause the